Apparently Ryan Grimm got a booster shot. I should also be clear. I got a booster shot. Apparently it was offensive to Jimmy Dore because he doesn't like Ryan Grimm.
I was watching The Hill the other day, and the D.C. bureau chief of The Intercept said that he got his booster shot. Ryan Grimm said he got his booster shot because the holidays are coming up and he didn't want to transmit the virus to other people in his family. And it's like, you fucking dummy. The vaccine doesn't stop you from transmitting the virus.
You fucking dummy.
It doesn't. That you are not. He's virtue signaling. You're not protecting anyone else by getting vaccinated, you fucking propagandist at The Hill. That's the D.C. bureau chief of The Intercept spreading medical misinformation, and they, of course, won't be flagged for it because they're on the corporate fucking algorithm. And they get pushed, and they never get suppressed. But the actual accurate information on COVID will be suppressed, but their bullshit doesn't. It gets pushed. That was a complete medical misinformation Ryan Grimm from the D.C. bureau chief of The Intercept gave on The Hill on that show, saying that he got a booster shot so he didn't transmit the virus to people in his family over the holidays. That's not how the vaccination works, you fucking moron. I know that, and I'm high.
He's high. But do you notice the sleight of hand that he does here? The vaccine does not prevent you from transmitting it if you have a breakthrough infection. And if you do not have COVID, you cannot transmit COVID.
Fully vaccinated people, if infected, can carry high viral loads and potentially be contagious.
And if you do not have COVID, you cannot transmit COVID.
Vaccinated people who do have a breakthrough infection are clearly capable of transmitting the infection to an uninfected person.
And if you do not have COVID, you cannot transmit COVID. The virus doesn't have the ability to replicate and build up a viral load. Also could diminish just diminishes the load within your body and therefore makes you less contagious.
Danielle asks, after I'm vaccinated, if I get COVID, can I spread it to others? Yes, in all likelihood, you would be able to spread it to others.
I got into it with Jimmy, and I told him this exact same thing. He fucking knows. He's been told this over and over again by people. He's seen this. He just stops responding when you do that.
I mean, honestly, like at one point, he's just lying for money.
Yes.
He's just lying for money. And it's embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed if I was on screen when that was happening and didn't.
And when the vaccines were authorized, they were cautious and said just because you got the vaccine doesn't mean you can't spread the illness. We know that people who get the infection naturally, about a quarter of them have no symptoms but can still be contagious.
Imagine how sort of just corroded and decrepit you have to be inside you to know that you are saying this stuff, that you are inhibiting people from getting a booster, from getting a vaccine in some fashion. And you're just doing it for money.
Even if you're vaccinated, you can still get the virus and you can still transmit it.
It's so gross to contemplate. You know, I mean, it's so gross to contemplate because it's
life and death.
Yeah, exactly. You just don't know how many tragedies you're causing.
People try to make me out to be anti-vaxxer. Again, my bad faith attackers, when I'm constantly telling people to get vaxxed. So if you're afraid of the virus and you want to reduce your chances of getting seriously ill, you should get vaccinated. So that's what we've always said on this show. I'll show you another video of me saying it. Yes, it's important that the elderly and people with underlying health conditions get vaccinated. I agree with that.
At one point, he was doing this, for some reasons other than his own self-aggrandizement and enrichment. It really is fascinating what must have taken place. it would be interesting to sort of like graph on a heat map, like what was going on in his brain during this time.
So why are you stop worrying about unvaccinated people? Make sure you're vaccinated. If you're vulnerable, make sure you're vaccinated. So I don't know how much more emphasis I could put on it. But there it is. That's the message of this show. Then people want to make it out that I'm opposite that I'm anti-vax. No, because I have a critique of the COVID response from the government and the establishment media. That doesn't make me, but that's what people want to make this out to be.
I am your voice.